In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace the window regulator with motor assembly on the hatch of this Toyota 4Runner. Let's get started. Let's start by removing this cover here. Usually there's a little cap right here that you have to pop off, which will expose this 10mm bolt. In our case, it's already missing, but if yours is here, you can just pry it with a little trim tool or pocket screwdriver, and then take this bolt out. This will come off with the strap. Set those aside. And now all we have to do is pry down on this, get a trim tool, stick it in here, and pop off all of the retainers. At this point, you're going to want to slide it towards the top of the hatch. And there you have it, set it aside. With that off, let's disconnect all these electrical connectors so we can pull this panel off. I want to leave this module attached just because it'll be easier. So pull this out. Disconnect this and this. And if you have something that you can stick in here, if you look closely, you'll see that there's a tab that if you pry down on, this whole connector should slide forward. Okay, looking at the back side, this is the tab that I was prying on. We'll do the same over here. If this is giving you a lot of trouble and you can't pop it out, just pry it out. There you go. Now just remove all the 10mm bolts that hold this cover on. Pull it down slowly. There we go. It's got two pins over here, plastic pins that it slides in and out of. We also have to take off the smaller cover. Now you're going to want to roll this window down a little bit so that you can see the mounting bolts from the regulator to the window through the access holes here that we opened up. There are 6 in total, 2 over here that you can see, 10mm socket for both. This one's very difficult to see, but it's actually right here between the motor and the regulator. And then symmetrically on the other side. This one you can actually see a lot better. Okay, watch out because at this point the glass is free. Take the window and roll it down as if it was trying to close. Guide it until it's completely closed. Unbolt this with a 10mm socket. Set it aside. Pop this connector out. To do that, you can just pry in the 2 tabs. Squeeze this through. There's another retainer over here. I'm squeezing the 2 tabs on it so I can release it. Unplug the window motor. Follow this along and pop it out of here as well. And now 4 10mm bolts should get us this regulator out of here. Okay, slide it to the side and down and out. There it is. Now let's get the window regulator back in. First thing I want to do is just line it up with its mounting points on the actual hatch so that it can at least be secured and not slide around. Okay, here we go, right there. Start the 4 bolts in. And snug them up. Now grab the window, the glass, and slide it down to line it up with the mounting points on the regulator. Be careful that it doesn't fall out of its track because it'll literally fall out of the door or of the hatch, so you definitely don't want that to happen. I'm going to try and line this up 1 bolt at a time. Over here, there was a bracket on the side, the one that had the 2 bolts next to each other. That bracket will go over the regulator arm. Okay, got those 2 started. There's 1 more to start here, and that is this one. All right, let's snug up all 3. Over here we had those. And here, just like on the other side, this bracket has to go over the regulator arm. Just snug this one up a little. Okay, so those two are started. The most difficult one to get to is going to be this one right here because it's harder to see and to reach. All right, tighten up these two. Okay, the regulator is bolted to the window. Let's resecure this wiring harness. Plug the motor in, resecure this, and there was a mounting nut holding this on. Cover this up. These screws go into plastic, so make sure you don't make them too tight. Before we put the main cover on, get this wiring harness stuck through that hole there, and then you'll have two push clips that the cover slides into. And then on the top, you have one that snaps in. That's nice because it holds it in place for you. So you can get your bolts, or screws, I guess. They are screws after all. They go into plastic, and thread them in. Now let's resecure these electrical connectors here. And this one here. Now when it comes time to putting this panel on, you want to slide it down into the bottom seal here, just like you would do for a regular door panel. And then you should be able to line up all the push clips and snap them in. Now put in the strap with this bolt. And if you have the little cover, then put that on as well. And there you have it.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.